Welcome to your daily Mars weather bulletin, where we first check in on the surface rovers before diving into the three-sol forecast. Perseverance operates at Jezero Crater, where on Sol 1955 of the mission it drove 9.4 meters, bringing its total odometer to 44.98 kilometers, and that update is already 6 days old. The climatological model estimates today's weather there with a high of minus 16 degrees, a low of minus 72 degrees, wind at 59 kilometers per hour, pressure at 7.8 millibars, and a dust optical depth of 0.98. Perseverance captured this Maskanzi image on Sol 1961 of the mission. Curiosity operates at Gale Crater, where on Sol 4996 of the mission it drove 47.4 meters, bringing its total odometer to 38.17 kilometers. The climatological model estimates today's weather there with a high of minus 27 degrees, a low of minus 73 degrees, wind at 52 kilometers per hour, pressure at 8.7 millibars, and a dust optical depth of 0.71. Curiosity reached a milestone yesterday, marking a 1-kilometer elevation gain on its 14-year journey up Mount Sharp in Gale Crater. The rover captured this panoramic view from Valle Grande, looking back toward the crater floor through the dusty atmosphere. This achievement highlights the ongoing exploration of the ancient environment to assess past habitability. Curiosity captured this navcam image on Sol 4996 of the mission. Rome was last confirmed at Utopia Planitia, where the last published traverse record puts it at 1.92 kilometers in total on Sol 347 of the mission, and no later movement has been reported. The climatological model estimates today's weather there with a high of minus 39 degrees, a low of minus 74 degrees, wind at 87 kilometers per hour, pressure at 8.9 millibars, and a dust optical depth of 1.22. InSight's mission ended at Elysium Planitia, and as a stationary lander it never drove, so it has no traverse distance and no odometer at all. The climatological model estimates today's weather there with a high of minus 27 degrees, a low of minus 73 degrees, wind at 39 kilometers per hour, pressure at 7.7 millibars, and a dust optical depth of 0.96. On Sol 636, daytime highs average minus 29 degrees, with the Perseverance site reaching minus 16. The sky is dominated by dusty haze, with dust optical depth peaking at 1.22 over the Rome site. Winds gust up to 107 kilometers per hour at Olympus Mons. Overnight lows average minus 76 degrees, dropping to minus 97 at Olympus Mons. Temperatures remain consistently cold, with highs near minus 30 and lows near minus 77. Dust haze persists with optical depths around 1.2, while winds peak near 100 kilometers per hour. At the Rome site, pressure is 7.8 millibars, visibility is 3 kilometers, and water vapor is 10 micrometers. Temperatures will gradually cool further over the next 5 sols, while dust levels slowly decrease. Attention now turns to Mars and its moons, Phobos and Deimos. Phobos makes its first crossing across the apparent disk of Mars, lasting 51 minutes. This transit occurs in Los Angeles between 7:31 in the morning and 8:22 in the morning, as Mars is above the horizon there. The event also takes place in New York between 10:31 in the morning and 11:22 in the morning, with Mars above the horizon. Additionally, the crossing happens in London between 3:31 in the afternoon and 4:22 in the afternoon, while Mars remains above the horizon. Phobos continues with its next crossing across the apparent disk of Mars, a passage that lasts 51 minutes. This transit occurs in Los Angeles between 3:11 in the afternoon and 12:02 in the afternoon, as Mars is above the horizon. In New York and London, Mars is below the horizon. Deimos completes its only crossing across the apparent disk of Mars, lasting 46 minutes. This transit occurs in London between 3:22 in the morning and 4:08 in the morning, with Mars above the horizon. In Los Angeles and New York, Mars is below the horizon. Phobos makes its third crossing across the apparent disk of Mars, taking 51 minutes to pass. This event happens in New York between 1:50 in the morning and 2:41 in the morning, with Mars above the horizon, and in London between 6:50 in the morning and 7:41 in the morning, where Mars is also above the horizon. For Los Angeles, Mars is below the horizon. Mars is currently in the constellation Gemini. For observers in New York, Mars rises at 1:47 in the morning and sets at 4:53 in the afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to Mars Weather. Stay safe out there, and we will see you next time.